Okay, so our psalm today is Psalm 59. If you want to follow along, because I think I'd like to read the whole thing. Because we're getting into today, we're really getting into the conflict or the tension between Saul and David, and right, and so this Psalm 59, reflects much of what we're going to be talking about today, and probably next week too. All right. So Psalm 59. Deliver me from my enemies, oh my God. Protect me from those who rise up against me. Deliver me from those who work evil, from the bloodthirsty, save me. Even now they lie in wait for me. The mighty stir up strife against me. For no transgression or sin of mine, O Lord, for no fault of mine, they run and make ready. Rouse yourself, come to my help and see. You, Lord God of hosts, are God of Israel. Awake to punish all the nations. Spare none of those who treacherously plot evil. Each evening they come back howling like dogs and prowling about the city. There they are, bellowing with their mouths, with sharp words on their lips. For who they think will hear us? But you laugh at them, O Lord. You hold all the nations in derision. O my strength, I will watch for you O God, are my fortress. My God and his steadfast love will meet me. My God will my God will let me look in triumph on my enemies. Do not kill them, or my people may forget. Make them totter by your power and bring them down, O Lord, our shield. For the sin of their mouths, the words of their lips, let them be trapped in their pride. For the cursing and lies that they utter, consume them in wrath, consume them until they are no more. Then it will be known to the ends of the earth that God rules over Jacob. Each evening they come howling like dogs, prowling about the city. They run about for food and growl if they do not get their fill. But I will sing of your might. I will sing aloud of your steadfast love in the morning. For you have been a fortress for me, a refuge in the day of my distress. O my strength, I will sing praises to you. For you, O God, are my fortress, the God who shows me steadfast love. So for me, that's kind of a tough one, because it really, to me, gets down to basics of human behavior.
Yeah.
And that sometimes I like to think that we evolve beyond that, but
No.
Some of the things that happened are still there, but have changed a little bit. They've evolved. So much of it happens through the computer.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so it's been 2 weeks since we were last together, and Susan didn't get to post the last lesson online, and I forgot to write it down.
You sort of guessing where we were.
I'm guessing. So if I start on this and there was like, no, we already did that. Or you remember, Cassie? Okay.
We'll do it again.
All right.
You have a lot of faith in our old lady memories.
I was going to say, with my memory, I will not know the difference.
All right. Harold, do you remember where we stopped?
Not exactly. Well, I did not go to the last one we had.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Tom, do you remember? Okay.
Yeah. So you have nothing to worry about. You can start wherever you want.
When you edit this, you can edit this part off.
Now, I will say that my bookmark was kind of halfway through chapter 18.
Well, that's where I think we stopped. Yeah. We didn't talk about David getting married.
Right.
Okay. All right. So just to refresh everybody's memory, David has defeated Goliath for a short period of time. Saul thought, oh my gosh, David is just the best. And then he heard the women singing in the streets, Saul killed thousands, David killed 10,000s. And apparently that song must have had a pretty catchy tune because it comes back in chapter, I think it's 21. It comes back. So, anyhow, it must become a real popular song.
I've been on the radio. Good
Yeah.
beat, you can dance to it.
Right. That's how I put in my notes that the women were dancing, and then because I could just, see them dancing. It turns out no, they were. All right, so Saul briefly until he heard that song, and then he threatened in verse 11, chapter 18, verse 11, I will pin David to the wall. All right, so remember that scenario comes back. Okay, but David eluded him twice. That threat was there twice. All right, so verse 12, Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and had departed from Saul. So Saul removed him from his presence and made him a commander of thousands. David marched out and came in leading the army. David had success in all his undertakings, for the Lord was with him. When Saul saw that he had great success, he stood in awe of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, for it was he who marched out and came in.
Now, where you said, your translation said Saul was in awe of him, mine says he dreaded.
That's the Alter's translation. That dreaded him. Yeah. Alter really gets into the nuances with the words. So,
And I'm sorry, what are we in chapter 18, did you say?
chapter 18. Yeah, I just read verses 10, 12 through 16.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, somebody read 17. Just for now, read 17 through 19, Sarah, and then then I'll have you read about who David really marries.
Right. And Saul said to David, here is my eldest daughter, Merab. Her shall I give you as wife. Only be a valiant fellow for me, fight the battles of war. And Saul had thought, let not my hand be against him, but let the hand of the Philistines be against him. And David said to Saul, who am I, and who are my kin, my father's clan in Israel, that I should be the son-in-law? And it happened at the time of giving Merab the daughter of Saul to David. She was given Adriel the Meholah of fight as wife.
So nobody's really sure what this is all about.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Meholah things.
Right. And I forgot to look it up. You want to look up who the Meholah?
Yeah.
Mahola.
Yeah, we can't even say it.
Yeah. So anyhow, but it was not unusual in those days. After a big victory, that you give your daughter to.
Yeah, they would
the
just.
victor. Right. Okay. So then, and David is like, oh wait, do I really deserve to be son-in-law of the king?
Yeah.
Is that really?
Turns out not.
My little kinfolk here from Bethlehem. No, do I really deserve to be the son-in-law? All right, so Sarah's looking it up.
Refers to an inhabitant of Meholah, a location mentioned in the Old Testament. The term is primarily associated with Adriel, the son of Barzillai, who married Mary, the daughter of King Saul.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Apparently this is the only place.
yeah. So this is it. That's why
Yep,
we
this
don't
is
know.
all we know. Yep,
Okay.
yep. So, all right. So now, Sarah, if you would read 20 through 30. Wait, yeah, 20 through 30.
And Michal, the daughter of Saul, loved David, but told Saul.
Okay, can I interject? This is the only place in the Hebrew Bible where it explicitly states that a woman loved.
Okay. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing was pleasing in his eyes. And Saul thought, I shall give her to him, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of Philistines may be against him. And And Saul said to David, "For the second one you can be my son-in-law now." And Saul charged his servants, "Speak to David discreetly, saying, Look, the king desires you, and all his servants love you. Now, yet, become son-in-law to the king." And Saul's servants spoke these words in David's ear. David said, "Is it a light thing in your eyes to become son-in-law to me? I am a poor man like this." And Saul's servants told him, saying, "Words of this sort David spoke." And Saul said, "Thus shall you say to David, the king has no desire for any bride price except 100 Philistine foreskins to take vengeance against the king's enemies." And Saul had advised to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. And David's servants told these words to David, and the thing was pleasing in David's eye to become son-in-law to him. And the time was not done when David arose and met, he and his men, and he struck down among the Philistines 200. And David brought their foreskins and made a full count to become son-in-law to the king. And David gave him Michal his daughter as wife. And Saul saw and marked that the Lord was with David, and Michal the daughter of Saul lived. And Saul was all the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's constant enemy. And the Philistine captains sallied forth, and whenever they sallied forth, David succeeded with all Saul's servants and his men and great things.
I'd like to put that on my bridal registry. I didn't know that was an
He was giving it to his bride, giving it to her father. And
So- So there are, needless to say, because how ancient the manuscripts were with this, there's some textual issues. I think it was back in verse 21. The NRSV translated, "Therefore Saul said to David a second time, you shall now be my son-in-law." But Alter translated
It's to the second daughter.
to the second daughter. Right. And then Alter translated it that David came back with 200 foreskins, not 100, but 200, but the NRSV has 100.
Yeah.
They altered says in terms of the second, says the text might be defective. Literally it says through two. This has variously been interpreted through two daughters, if not one than the other. Through two conditions, vanquishing the Philistines and the foreskins for two reasons. So who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So through all of this, outside of David saying, I'm not worthy, initially, I'm not worthy to be your son-in-law. He really doesn't say much else about what he thinks. But initially he says that, and then he comes back and says, "Well, okay, maybe I." But his fame continues. All right, and the foreskin issue.
So are we assuming that he killed them all?
I think that's a fair bet.
Yeah.
Or they killed him and then cut off the foreskin.
Yeah,
How I
they-
interpret
yeah.
it.
Contemporary English version says, all you have to do, Saul to David, all you have to do is to bring back proof that you have killed 100 Philistines.
Oh, so they left it out completely.
Oh.
And the whole purpose of this
So
was to
then,
get,
what does it say in that verse where David came back with 100 or 200?
King Saul had set a time limit, and before it ran out, David and his men left and killed 200 Philistines. David brought back the proof that Saul had demanded and showed it to him so he could marry Michal.
All right. Well,
Well, they've been noses.
apparently it was, the Israelites too saw themselves as, there's a couple incidents that give the tone that they saw themselves as superior because of their circumcision practices.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, so all this just leaves Saul just getting more and more fearful.
But the whole purpose of sending David out was that he's going to die.
Yeah,
Against 100, nah, he's going to die.
Yeah.
And now my problem problems are solved.
Right. Yeah, he keeps hoping. But instead he comes back with at least meeting the request, if not exceeding.
And it's interesting that David uses
Beating
that
the dare.
same tactic later with Uriah, sending him off to battle, and he does. So, this is a tactic that kings use.
Goes around, comes around.
Yeah.
Seems like, yeah. All right, so this process too, I think it's Alter that made this note that there are some similarities here with Jacob's story. Jacob ended up marrying Leah. He wanted Rachel, but he got the second daughter. David got the second daughter. I can't remember what Jacob had to go and do, but he had to go and do something.
7 more years, 7 more years.
Yeah,
He promised to
Right.
work 7 years for Rachel and got Leah.
yeah.
And then
And worked
Laban
7 more
said,
years.
you want Rachel, you work another
Another
7
7
years.
years.
Although, and I used to think as a kid that meant he had to wait 14 years for Rachel, but later on I read something that's like, no, he got to marry her immediately. It was just he was bound to work.
Like an invention. So.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, so I see a little, to me, it's not, I mean, this is how things were done in those times. Women were property, so you would do stuff to,
Right, yeah.
so,
You didn't have money, so you worked it on.
right.
It made for a happy marriage to have your your 2 sisters married to the same man, and one of them was the favored bride,
But the other one was the one that got pregnant.
That's true. That must have been, talk about dysfunctional families. That's
Everybody use your outside voice. I don't want to miss a comment that Cassie makes about David. So everybody speak up.
Oh, okay, all right.
we were
Yeah, we could try plugging in the microphone, see if that helps. All right, so I'm gonna keep going and Sarah's gonna plug the microphone in and see if that helps, Harold. All right. So moving into 19, and now we get into going fine. So Jonathan and his son, Saul and his son Jonathan. All right. So Jonathan is right there with Saul, but we're gonna we already know that this was back at the beginning of chapter 18, I think. Yeah, that Jonathan, I'm just going to read this to sort of refresh everybody's memory. So back to 18:1. When David had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was bound to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. Saul took him that day and would not let him return to his father's house. And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as his own soul. Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that he was wearing and gave it to David, and his armor, and even his sword, and his bow, and his belt. David went out and was successful wherever Saul sent him. As a result, Saul sent him over the army, and all the people made the servants of Saul free. So we already know that there is this bond between David and Jonathan. So if somebody would read, let's just read 1 through 8 to start with.
1 through 8 of 18.
19.
What is this?
Okay.
One day, Saul told his son Jonathan and his officers to kill David. But Jonathan and David were best friends, and he warned David, "My father is trying to have you killed, so be very careful. Hide in a field tomorrow morning, and I'll bring him there. Then I'll talk to him about you. And if I find out anything, I'll let you know." The next morning, Jonathan reminded Saul about the many good things David had done for him. Then he said, "Why do you want to kill David? He hasn't done anything to you. He has served in your army and has always done what was best for you. He even risked his life to kill Goliath. The Lord helped Israel win a great victory that day, and it made you happy, Saul agreed and promised, I swear by the living Lord that I won't have David killed. Jonathan went to David and told him what Saul had said. Then he brought David to Saul, and David served in Saul's army just as he had done before. The next time there was a war with the Philistines, David fought hard and forced them to retreat. Through 8?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Go through 10.
Good enough. One night, David was in Saul's home, playing the harp for him. Saul was sitting there holding a spear when an evil spirit from the Lord took control of him. Saul tried to pin David to the wall with the spear, but David dodged, and it stuck in the wall. David ran out of the house and escaped.
Okay.
An evil spirit of the Lord?
Yeah, yeah. Mine says that the NIV says an evil spirit from the Lord.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Not just an evil spirit of the Lord.
of the Lord. Yep. So, but that, that's how
Yeah,
that's how it was seen in those days. Yeah, that's how it was understood.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So the tide has turned. Saul's back to going after David. Right? Jonathan thought he could patch things up.
But the mental illness is continuing. Yeah. That's how it looks on the TV show. He's
Paranoid.
Well, no, literally mentally ill. And yeah.
Right. The paranoia
Is the symptom. But yeah, and
Right.
it just gets, as time goes on, it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And in the television show, they have Saul's wife being married. So part of the story. She's not.
What is that show streaming on? What station?
Very possibly prom, because we do a lot of prom.
Is it just called David?
Just before the holidays. Watch. I'll try to remember.
Yeah, because Saul's wife's not. I don't
She
remember
hasn't
any.
been mentioned.
She has a medium level role in
In the show,
In the show.
but I don't remember her being.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing.
And there's an animated movie about David that just.
I have, yeah.
So I think Kitten went to see it. She put something on Facebook about seeing it. So.
Yeah.
Is it any better, David? Harold with the microphone?
I think so. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. Good. All right. So then, if somebody would be 11 through 24.
Can do that. Saul sent messengers to David's house to keep watch over him, planning to kill him in the morning. David's wife, Michal, told him, if you do not save your life tonight, tomorrow you will be killed. So Michal let David down through the window. He fled away and escaped. Michal took an idol and laid it on the bed. She put a net of goat's hair on its head and covered it with the clothes. When Saul sent the messengers to take David, she said, he is sick. Then Saul sent the messengers to see David for themselves. He said, bring him up to me in the bed that I may kill him. When the messengers came in, the idol was in the bed with a covering of goat's hair on its head. Saul said to Michal, why have you deceived me like this and let my enemy go so that he has escaped? Michal answered Saul. He said to me, let me go. Why should I kill you?
And where she says idol, I have household gods.
Yeah. So, that
Yeah, they
the
want,
idols still pop up
yeah.
from time to time.
Well, so that last thing I read, he said, let me go. Why should I kill you? It's almost as if she's making it sound like he would kill her if
Right,
she
she's making an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my footnote said.
Yeah,
That she's making an excuse to her dad.
Do it. So
That
he
he-
won't kill
Right,
her.
right.
Dad won't kill her.
Yeah.
But
He
she's-
said he was gonna kill me if I didn't let
If I
him go,
didn't let
Daddy.
him
I
go.
had to let him go.
Yeah.
So this idol or household god has been pretty close to life size.
Yeah.
Well, no, mine has gods plural, household gods.
Well, I noticed that.
But it's just one sad statue.
Either way, it
But yeah,
was made to look, I
Yeah.
guess,
Somewhat like
and she put his clothes over him, All right, because
Yeah.
we're gonna get to something with Saul in a
So
little
it's
bit.
the equivalent of making the pillows look like you're.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You put goat's hair on this, on the head like a wig. Yeah. So, all right, so now 18 through 24.
Okay, I got that.
All right.
And David had fled and gotten away and had come to Samuel at Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him.
Okay, so pause. So David apparently is like, whoa, this is getting really serious here. So he takes off and he goes to Samuel. And Samuel is at Ramah, which is the place where the prophets live.
Yeah.
All right, so it's like a community of prophets. Okay. And Ramah is right there by what is it, Gibeon. All right. So here, oh yeah, Ramah's on here. So here's Jerusalem, which doesn't exist yet. Right? It's just this little hole, crossroads named Salem. And here's Ramah right above it. Okay. All right. And here's Gibeah, which is just south of Jerusalem. All right. So that's where all the actions take place now. Okay.
Okay, let me just start over. And David had fled and gotten away and come to Samuel at Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel with him went and stayed at Naioth, and it was told to Saul, saying, Look, David is at Naioth in Ramah. And Saul sent messengers to take David, and they saw a band of prophets in ecstasy, with Samuel standing poised over them. And the Spirit of God came upon Saul's messengers, and they too went into ecstasy. And they told Saul, and he sent other messengers, and they too went into ecstasy. And Saul still again sent a third set of messengers, and they too went into ecstasy. And he himself went to Ramah and came as far as the great cistern, which is in Secu. And he asked and said, Where are Samuel and David? And someone said, Here in Naioth in Ramah. And he went there to Naioth in Ramah. And the Spirit of God came upon him too. And he walked along, speaking in ecstasy, until he came to Naioth in Ramah. And he too stripped off his clothes. And he too went into ecstasy before Samuel, and lay naked all that day and all that night. Therefore do they say, Is Samuel too among the prophets?
Is Saul also?
Saul among the prophets.
Right. So there's this, sometimes it's translated prophesying, frenzy, ecstasy. One author called it a bunch of whirling dervishes.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. when we
Yeah.
were reading. Have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
I've seen
Videos of them. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it sounded like.
Right. So anyhow, so Saul sends three groups of folks. They all fall into this ecstasy or prophesying or whatever they're doing. And in my mind, I liken it almost to speaking in tongues.
Mm-hmm.
That's among some Christians. And so whereas David's clothes, that David's clothes protected him, Saul strips all of his clothes off in this render. And it's Saul also among the prophets. So like, what is going on?
Yeah, and I think I remember a footnote that said something about Saul is divesting himself of his kingly garments.
Yep. So is Saul among the prophets?
Like, what the heck
Oh,
happened here?
yeah. His body is there for sure, but whether he,
So to see
the
what
spirit
impact
has changed.
it has on him, right? So David had. So now we're going to get into David had to flee from Ramah, right? Because Saul has shown up there. All right, so that's what we're going to get into next. So first, David is saved by Saul's daughter. Now he's going to be saved by Saul's son, Jonathan. So if somebody would read 20 verses 1 through, let's just read 1 through 11, and then we'll pick up again.
20. David escaped from Prophet's village. Then he ran to see Jonathan and asked, "Why does your father Saul want to kill me? What have I done wrong?" "My father can't be trying to kill you. He never does anything without telling me about it. Why would he hide this from me? It can't be true." "Jonathan, I swear it's true. But your father knows how much you like me, and he didn't want to break your heart. That's why he didn't tell you. I swear by the living Lord and by your own life that I'm only one step ahead of death." Then Jonathan said, "Tell me what to do, and I'll do it." David answered, "Tomorrow is the new moon festival, and I'm supposed to eat dinner with your father. But instead, I'll hide in a field until the evening of the next day. If Saul wonders where I am, tell him, David asked me to let him go to his hometown of Bethlehem so he could take part in a sacrifice his family makes there every year. If your father says it's all right, then I'm safe. But if he gets angry, you'll know he wants to harm me. Be kind to me. After all, it was your idea to promise the Lord that we would always be loyal friends. If I've done anything wrong, kill me yourself, but don't hand me over to your father." "Don't worry," Jonathan said. "If I find out that my father wants to kill you, I'll certainly let you know." "How will you do that?" David asked. "Let's go out to this field and I'll tell you," Jonathan answered. When they got there, Jonathan said, "I swear by the Lord God of Israel that 2 days from now, I'll know what my father is planning. Of course, I'll let you know if he's friendly towards you." That's the 12.
Yeah, okay. So this festival, it was a common thing in early biblical times to have this, you do a big sacrifice, you have a big feast, they have this sort of party at the new moon. So, reminds me of having this big party, I don't know. So it wasn't unheard of to have this festival sort of. So Jonathan's like, "Hey, no, my dad wouldn't go after you." And David's like, "Well, yeah, he is." So they work out this plan. So the signal, and so they also the signal then is the scheme where Jonathan's going to act like he's doing archery practice. Let me all figure this out. He's doing archery practice, and where he shoots the arrows is supposed to be a signal for David. So that's what we're going to get into.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 12 through 29. Okay.
Jonathan said to David, "By the Lord, the God of Israel, when I have sounded out my father about this time tomorrow, or on the third day, if he is well disposed toward David, shall I not then send and disclose it to you? But if my father intends to do you harm, the Lord do so to Jonathan, and more also, if I do not disclose it to you, and send you away, so that you may go in safety. May the Lord be with you, as he has been with my father. If I am still alive, show me the faithful love of the Lord. But if I die, never cut off your faithful love from my house, even if the Lord were to cut off every one of the enemies of David from the face of the earth." Thus Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, "May the Lord seek out the enemies of David." Jonathan made David swear again by his love for him, for he loved him as he loved his own life. Jonathan said to him, "Tomorrow is the new moon. You will be missed, because your place will be empty. On the day after tomorrow, you should go a long way down. Go to the place where you hid yourself earlier, and remain beside the stone there. I will shoot 3 arrows to the side of it, as though I shot at a mark. Then I will send the boy, saying, 'Go find the arrows.' If I say to the boy, 'Look, the arrows are on this side of you, collect them,' then you are to come, for as the Lord lives, it is safe for you, and there is no danger. But if I say to the young man, 'Look, the arrows are beyond you,' then go, for the Lord has sent you away. As for the matter about which you and I have spoken, the Lord is witness between you and me forever." So we keep going. Sorry, to 30. So David hid himself in the field. When the new moon came, the king sat at the feast to eat. The king sat upon his seat as at other times, upon the seat by the wall. Jonathan stood while Abner sat by Saul's side, but David's place was empty. Saul did not say anything that day, for he thought, something has befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. But on the second day, the day after the new moon, David's place was empty. And Saul said to his son Jonathan, why has the son of Jesse not come to the feast, either yesterday or today? Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked to leave me to go to Bethlehem. He said, let me go, for our family is holding a sacrifice in the city. My brother has commanded me to be there. So now, if I have found favor in your sight, let me get away and see my brothers. For this reason, he was not come to the feast, has not come to the king's table.
Okay. So remember, David is the youngest
Mhm.
of his dad's
Mhm.
children. So he's the baby in the family. Saul is seated, I don't know if you noticed it in verse 25, he was seated with his back to the wall. You know, he's seated against the wall. Abner, who is one of his his favorite commander, is there with him. Okay. So Saul is making sure he puts himself in a safe position.
Relatively safe place.
Right. Okay. Somebody read 30 through the end of 20.
And Saul was incensed with Jonathan, and he said to him, O son of a perverse, wayward woman, don't I know you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own shame and the shame of your mother's wickedness? For as long as the son of Jesse lives on the earth, you and your kingship will not be unshaken. And now send and fetch him to me, for he is a dead man. And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said to him, why should he be put to death? What has he done? Saul cast the spear at him to strike him down. And Jonathan knew that it was harmful.
To the end of the chapter.
Was resolved by his father to put David to death. And Jonathan rose from the table in burning anger. And he ate no food on the second day of the new moon because he was pained for David, as his father had believed. And it happened in the morning, Jonathan went out to the field and fixed a meeting with David, and a young lad was with him. And he said to his lad, run, find, pray, the arrows that I shoot. The lad ran, and he shot the arrow beyond him. And the lad came to the place of the arrow that Jonathan had shot. And Jonathan called after the lad and said, look, the arrow is on the far side of you. And Jonathan called after the lad, quick, hurry, don't stand still. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and gave his master. And the lad knew nothing. Jonathan and David knew that. Jonathan gave his gear to his lad and said to him, bring them to town. Just as the lad came, David arose by the mound and fell on his face to the ground and bowed 3 times. And each man kissed the other, and each wept for the other. But David the longer. And Jonathan said to David, go in peace, for the 2 of us have sworn in the name of the Lord, saying, the Lord is witness between me and you, and between my seed and your seed for all time. And Jonathan arose.
So kissing between men was not an uncommon thing in that biblical time. Going back to the beginning of the passage when Saul was angry against Jonathan, you son of rebellious woman.
That was interesting.
I don't really know what that's about.
Uh-huh.
Either way, it's meant to be a derogatory comment, hurtful comment. So anyhow, so Jonathan's protecting David. Saul's anger is just growing and increasing. So that's where we're going to end today. We get into next week, and Goliath's sword comes back into the sword story, and one of the commentators likens it to Excalibur.
Okay.
I will look for. I'm teaching next week. I will look.
Oh,
forward to
okay.
it.
Yeah. So likens it to Excalibur.
Okay.
It's funny that they went to all that planning to have the boy,
Yeah.
touch the arrows, and then as soon as the boy leaves, they get together and kiss each other and talk and embrace. And it's like,
And the boys stand out in the middle of the
Yeah,
field
yeah.
where the arrows are going, phew.
yeah. Like,
One of the
Okay.
commenters noted that this kid stand out in the middle of the field.
he's
But it's meant to
probably this
Being
kind
out,
of some woman who's
some
done
literary,
something.
some literary piece. But